Hi everyone, I'm Bodine Victoria, and I want to say welcome back to my series on self-care. When we think about self-care, we think about all of the great things, the brunches, the time with friends, the disconnecting our phones and just living in the moment, screaming, hey, while we're on somebody's boat and enjoying ourselves. But I name big woman, and big women have to do big woman things as well. And all of those are big woman things, but I mean like big woman things. In the first part of this series, I focused on gynecological health, basically just recounting what happens at your annual physical examination as a woman. In this episode, can you believe that? In this episode, I'm going to focus on something that we sometimes overlook as well, and that is called physiotherapy. A lot of times we think about physiotherapy as something you do when you're injured, but the truth of the matter is you don't necessarily have to be injured in order to get the advantages of physiotherapy. Let's say that your occupation is a social media strategist. You're constantly on your phone, you're using your thumbs, you're using your hands, you're using your wrist. Sometimes you're even using your hands while you're lying in bed, while you're chilling, and maybe you develop, some soreness in your wrists, in your fingers. You can actually take advantage of a physiotherapist for that, because the physiotherapist can tell you whether or not you're developing carpal tunnel syndrome, that kind of feeling here, because if it's really bad, the feeling travels all the way up your arm, down, into your shoulders, into your back. It can affect your posture. A physiotherapist will definitely benefit you. You know why? Because the body needs certain exercises to help it maintain its ability to function. I can say my personal experience with physiotherapy is one that I think a lot of people can relate to some degree. I was a tomboy. Tomboys climb trees. Sometimes you fall out of trees. Tomboys ran up and down in the road during sports. You get injured. In childhood, playing kung fu with my friend Tina, she swept me and I fell down on my back just like this, pop, and it was horrible. You get aches and pain in your childhood, in your teenage years, that sometimes don't come back to manifest until you are in your adulthood. Fast forward to, let's say, that time when I was in 11th grade and getting ready for GSSSA, which I was getting ready to run hurdles, and during one of the practice heats, I lost count of my steps as well as lost my rhythm, and I tipped the top of the hurdle, but I fell down on my knee and I could not finish the heats or finish the actual race because it was injured to the point where it had started to swell up, and I couldn't use it as much. And I didn't know from then. I should have seen a doctor or a therapist, because the answer is, oh, I sit elevated. And a few days later, if you're like me and you have one, high threshold for pain, two, you don't really want to bother with anybody to take you to the hospital, you're kind of scared, or three, you kind of heal quickly. So 2 or 3 days later, you're not limping anymore. The swelling has gone down because you've iced and elevated it. You don't know that you may have torn your ACL. May. Adulthood, play flag football, in practice, season's just about to open up. I enjoy the sport. I'm fast. I actually find something that I'm coordinated enough to actually, enjoy in my adulthood. It's given me this feeling of camaraderie and capability and everything, right? So practice session. Me, the linebacker, running after the running back, who happens to be my best friend, Kizzy, and she pivots and she takes off. And I just about ready to pull a flag as she begins to pivot. Pop! That's what you hear. My knee just pops. And the entire field comes to a standstill as I slide full speed across the field. And everybody is just like, oh, because they know something bad happened to me. I knew I could not stand up on it. I got a knee brace, swelling went down, but I realized that I couldn't stand for long periods of time without my knee shaking. I couldn't put weight on my right knee. And for those of y'all who really think that is only sports it affects you in, have you ever tried to get into a shower. So you have one functioning knee. So you have to kind of balance with your left knee, or you have to figure out if you're going to plant your right knee that doesn't support all of your weight, step with the left one. So at least the left one, when you step into the tub, so you're stepping up and into the tub, you'll be able to keep your balance because this is a strong knee, and then pull your hip forward to get into the shower. And then you have to maintain your balance while you are in that shower with all of that water. Do you understand? Mentally, it is frustrating. Physically, it is frustrating because you go from being super capable to kind of having the fear of not only re-injuring yourself, but not being able to function the best way that you can for the rest of your life. Okay, when I had surgery on my knee, I do have whatever it is, ACL reconstructive surgery. I just know that I have a cadaver donor for one of the parts that needed to be repaired, and I am able to move, but it takes a psychological toll on you as well. I went to physiotherapy, and physiotherapy not only got me refunctioning, but it also had to rebuild my confidence. What a lot of people don't tell you is when your body is not working the way that it should be, it takes a mental toll on you. It makes you kind of second guess yourself, and you're frustrated. And, you know, sometimes you cry because you go from being self-sufficient to needing help to do simple things and not wanting help. I did the first round of physiotherapy. It took me a while to come to terms with the fact that even after that, I still needed to be gentle with myself getting back into the process. Put on a whole lot of weight because I was kind of sad because I couldn't run. I was scared to run, whatever. A lot of people see the gym as a luxury. We see it as something that you do because you can go. But I want us to keep in mind that exercise is important, not only because the types of exercises we do should be based on our daily routines. Yes, your exercise routine will be based on what you physically need, especially if you are somebody with a medical history. For me, after surgery, I built up my confidence. When I went to Evolve, I chose my gym based on my personal needs. I could not do high impact, which is a bunch of jumping movements and, running and things that were going to be compacting the pain that I put on my back or the pain that I put on my knees and my joints. I couldn't do that at first. I needed to come into the realm of gradually building strength and muscle tone, and then moving into things that were more dynamic. Started swimming. The swimming helped with my cardio. It also helped me to feel accomplished because I now not only had a new skill, but I felt better about myself, and I started to see myself slim back down to what I knew my body is supposed to be like. But more than that, I was functioning better. So I was able to do things a lot more quickly. Aches and pains went away. I started to lift weights, and I started to see how my body, my posture kind of improved as a result. And I didn't have as many back pains as I did when I wasn't working out. And then I fell off because of COVID, and aches and pains came back again. But these weren't the ones that one would experience when the rain comes. So I had to call Ellie, Dr. Elviann Pinder. She is your neighborhood physio on Instagram. And I can tell you, I'm so happy that I did. Why did I do it? Because knowing that I have a history of things that could go wrong, I didn't know if it was just my back that was hurting or if it was a compounded issue of me not distributing the weight properly between the two legs, which causes your hips to hurt because the hamstrings are tight, and as a result it causes your back to hurt. The fact that my posture is poor because my core is not working. listen, I know this may be a lot, but trust me, your body needs maintenance. And because of COVID, I had not been maintaining it. I'd been eating bread and sugar and stuff, and I wasn't working out, and I started to pay for it because my body started to hurt. Enter Elviann Pinder, physiotherapist. So she came in during our first session. She diagnosed me. She asked me, what I was feeling. I told her, and then she started to customize a plan for me. We did a manual examination and she found that there were some knots near my sacrum area that she had to kind of roll out. She had to work out, and she did that, and automatically I started to kind of feel some relief. And then Dr. Ellie gave me a set of my first set of stretches that I needed to do.
Right way down. Okay, so this is your end. So this is a stretch strap. I normally ask people to get this. But you could use a belt, you know them land belts.
Okay.
Bend this knee for me, because like your back, you want it to be stable.
Okay.
So a lot of our hamstrings are very tight, and because of the connections they have to the hip and the back, that could also be a source of back pain.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is lift up. You're going as far as you could go forward.
Okay.
Keeping the knee straight.
Okay.
Good. Yes, Miss Flexible.
Girl, hold on.
That's
I think that's all we doing today. I gotta breathe.
Breathe, no, breathe through it, because we're holding this for another
Oh, gosh.
10,
Okay.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And I'm glad you're doing this, because you could tell tight hamstrings by the fact that this one isn't lying flat.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yes.
that's what we call a hamstring sign.
Okay.
So come back down.
Oh, okay. So now I know.
Right.
Okay.
Last one. Well, it's also a single knee.
Okay.
So if you had, I know we talked about the tingling and numbness. Some people have a leg that's really painful. Shooting pain down the leg. You could do a single knee.
Okay.
So instead of both, you bring in one up.
Like the stretch we do before we go running.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, but you're laying down, so it's more supportive for the back, and you're able to recruit more muscles.
Okay.
Instead of just standing up.
Right.
More back muscles as well as legs.
Okay.
All right, so the same 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we could take this, and we can come over to the side.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, hallelujah.
See all that down?
Yeah.
And I could hold you here. So some of these stretches you could do on your own. Once your strength is good enough in your inner thigh to push like you want to get off the table.
Right. Okay.
Right? So the same 10 seconds. That was 10, and then we come back. So your objective on that part of your body is to stay flat.
Okay.
But this one, you're going to keep.
Don't go onto the table yet.
And don't cry. You're doing good.
Thank you. I breathe.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And these stretches were designed to not agitate my back because we're in the process of rehabbing it. Here's why that's important. Have you know, a lot of us say we don't lift heavy things, right? But have you lifted a 5-gallon bottle in your house to put it on the counter or to put it on the stand that it should be? Do you have a backpack or a purse or something that you carry daily that's maybe just 3 or 5 pounds, but you carry it on one side of your body, and so the other side has to compensate for the weight? Do you have pots or pans that are in the cupboard below the sink that you have to bend down to pick up and then to lift up to put? Therapy is not just about catching up after you would have injured yourself. It's being able to do the things that you would normally do on a daily basis and be able to function effectively. Then Dr. Ellie told me which exercises I'm able to do while in the gym. These exercises included aqua aerobics with Chandra. So I cannot, at the time of this video, do any high impact running. So no running on the pavement, no running in the streets, no running even in grass. I have to do that running in the pool so that my body can actually have the cardio, but the impact on my joints is lessened. Then I went to Charles's class, which is plyometrics and core. Charles had to modify some of the exercises because they are explosive and sometimes high impact, but we did core exercises, and you know, you're seeing them on the screen now, and I had to work out, but immediately I felt I felt so much better. I was able to protect my body and my spine as per my therapist's suggestions. And the coaches, every single step of the way, when I told Tangerine, who is the owner of Evolve, what was happening with me, she said, okay, well, I'll let the coaches know. And the coaches were able to modify for me. And that's how you know that you're at a good gym. And then I went to yoga with Laura. You have a high calorie burn yoga. Then there is I think a vinyasa yoga, and then there's a restorative yoga. I went to the restorative yoga session. There's a lot of breathing and a lot of stretching and hip opening. And during that session, I just felt so much better because my muscles, especially the hamstrings, were getting the attention that they needed. And so I just want to say that you choose I want to encourage you guys to choose your gym based on your needs. Choose your exercise programs based on your needs. And why am I saying all of this? I'm saying all of this because sometimes when we think about self-care, we think about all of the superficial things that are good. I mean, honestly and truly, they are good. Treat yourself, but also treat yourself to a physiotherapist and treat yourself to an exercise program or a gym that is generally catered to you and your personal needs so that you can function. Fitness should be functional. Fitness should help you to do the things that you need to do in order to live well without having to consider every step that you take. Fitness should also be something that you live every day of your life. Because like I said, just being able to roll and get out of the bed, that's something that's functional. Being able to sit on the toilet. Y'all know what I'm talking about because y'all know after leg day, you will be holding onto the wall and you have to kind of lower yourself down nice and slow because your thighs is be tight, everything is be tight. But sitting on the toilet and getting back up, that's function. Walking up and down stairs without having to hold on to the railing for dear life, that's function. Being able to lift a pot of soup to put it on the stove or to take it off of the stove, that is function. And so physiotherapy, exercise is a form of self-care that I want us to take a little bit more seriously. I have another update of my time with Dr. Elviann, and so I'm going to be posting that in another video to come. I'm also going to be posting her contacts in the description bar, as well as the information on Evolve Functional Fitness in the description bar as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this series, and if there's anything that you would like to see, you'd like for me to cover, you'd like for me to do a little bit of research on, because I'm starting with what I know and what I experienced, but I would actually really love to learn a whole lot more and share what I've learned with you and share some of the professionals I come into contact with you. Just let me know, put it in the comments, and I'll do my best to try and research and then bring some of the findings to you. I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here. And if you liked this video, like it, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Then hit the notification bell so you know each and every single time that I upload. And don't forget, self-care is different things to different people. So you gotta do you. Bye.